Good morning. Happy day. And while we're waiting for a few people to get online, since it's just 10:57 here, I'm going to tell a little bit about what has just happened. And before I do, strike the bowls. And Stephen sent me a video collage of this being a very special day. I knew it was a special day for other reasons, but today, 5 years ago, was my first outing in a wheelchair to fly back to Singapore from Bali after I had crushed my right leg in June. So today being August to the 8th here is the 5-year anniversary of when that traumatic injury occurred. So I am happy that today I am walking, dancing, able to move around. And tomorrow is another big anniversary because 2 years ago on the 9th was the lingering memory of my hip fracture in the airport flying back into Bali. So again, I am so grateful to be here. I'm grateful to be walking after those 2 long wheelchair and crutches recoveries. So I'm here today to just get excited. And so we also have a brand new moon, which is going to color things as well. So I'm going to begin by striking a bowl and ringing a bell. For those of you who aren't familiar with why we might choose to do this, the reason is that the bowls and the ringing of the bells have several functions. They can rapidly change the energy, the sound frequency, and we've talked a lot about frequency in the last few weeks, and we will probably continue to talk about frequencies. So as you hear these sounds, as they come into your energy field, even over the internet, they will rapidly change the energy around you. They can raise it. Some sounds can lower it. These are intended to be harmonious and to raise your energy. The bells, the ringing of the bell, the repetitive sound also has the ability to balance the left and right brains, to unify them. So there are many good reasons to have happy, high frequencies. So enjoy. Use whatever oil you have chosen to have around you today and breathe it in, and just intend that these frequencies will enhance your own frequency. Clearing away some of these things so that I will not knock them over or hit into them. Again, happy Sunday. Today, I have used a number of oils, and I'm going to use the oil Loyalty, which is a blend that you cannot buy. You have to earn it, much as we earn loyalty in our lives. So those of you who have loyalty, you may choose to use that blend. Otherwise, you may choose other blends. Whatever you choose, just intend that they be the perfect frequencies for what you require at this particular moment. So, again, happy Sunday, happy day or evening whenever you're choosing to join us. The topic today came about because, first of all, over the week, I select my rainbow healing cards every single day with intent. And I kept selecting this card, the loyalty hologram. And so as I was beginning to prepare for this video, I sat down with my oils and I selected the cards, and lo and behold, loyalty came up again. So yes, repetition, Francis. That's what it says to me. And this is all about understanding what loyalty is. Now, the other card, I select 3, just like they are on our app. So every one of you can use the app and select cards. And the card that I selected, the physical card and on the app, was acceptance. We're going to talk a lot about this particular card and the acceptance, why it happened to be in relation to loyalty. And also, I selected the performer card. I just want you to know which 3 cards, because performer is all about focus. It's about repetition with focus. So these were my message in preparing for today. So what does loyalty mean to you? Well, I looked it up, or I Googled it, because I like to see what kind of definitions that might be there and what the opposite, because so often we vacillate between things. And what I found was that the polarity of loyalty is betrayal, and that loyalty means to hold steadfastly to the beliefs or the attachments, or just to hold on. And I have always looked at that as being loyal to things that I grew up believing. And as I began meditating and thinking further, delving inside me, I began to realize we are in a period of massive change. Would you agree? Massive change. And many of the beliefs we may have grown up with may not actually be applicable any longer. Now, I was a math teacher, so I grew up doing things exactly the same way all the time. And some things may never change. Some core beliefs may never change, but I would ask that you really sit down and examine. Are your beliefs, are you holding on to some ways of doing things? Oh my goodness. Again, that for me, it was that inflexibility to change. Oh, change was something I fought. All my life, I fought against change. I was the most conservative one, as it had to be done this way. Stephen always will say to me, Francis, you're changing so much. You're changing the way you do things. And I never know what to expect. Well, guess what? Neither do I. It's change in the moment. And at one point in my life, I would have thought vacillating away from the older ways of doing things was not a positive thing. However, upon greater self-reflection now in this world where change is just happening all around us. It's a matter of accepting that changes will happen and realizing, understanding that there are some things we have control over and there are some things we don't have control over. We have control over our thoughts, as we talked about over the last few weeks. We have control over what we put in our mouths, over how we spend each moment. We have zero control over others. Okay? So what it comes down to, what I determined in my delving over this past week, is exploring, really, really paying attention to what we are feeling, what is really inside, what beliefs are the ones that we should build upon, and what are those things that we are ready to let go of, ways of doing things. So the two glyphs, the two steps, the sixth and the seventh glyph, that acceptance of those things that we cannot control, acceptance of who we are, embracing who we are, embracing who others are without judgment. Each one of us has that opportunity to make our own choices, and we truly have no way of knowing the full picture of what anyone else is going through, what they're facing, what positive or negative frequencies are affecting their overall actions. We do have control over our own, and by releasing the things that are no longer serving us, these two things, these are the essential oils of frankincense and sacred frankincense. And where is it? I have it right here. I had it right here. Sorry. Lemon essential oil. We also have a beautiful blend of release that Gary Young created for us. Whatever assists us in embracing ourselves and others as we are, allowing ourselves to be loyal to ourselves, which will radiate outward to others. How loyal are you to yourself? I'm going to ask a lot of leading questions probably as we go along, because this is a time for self-reflection, for determining where we will place our focus, our energy, our passion and excitement. Now, as we remember, those are nice high frequencies that are going to raise us up and raise us out of the fear, the anxiety, the illness. So as we really focus upon what does bring us the joy, what makes us loyal to our beliefs that we are choosing to hold on to at this time, and then we will be able to move forward with greater joy. So, as I said, how have you changed in the last year? How have you changed over time? But specifically, in this last year, would you say that you are the same as you were a year ago? I'm certainly not the same as I was 2 years ago when I fractured my hip, or 5 years ago when I crushed my right leg. Things change, and how have you changed? What beliefs have you changed? What ones are ready to be just allowed to float off into Never Never Land because they're no longer applicable to you? And how have your values changed? Have your values changed? This is something only you can determine, and it doesn't mean it's that anyone else has to know what it is, because that's the beauty of this refinement process. We do this ourselves. It's our internal refinement. And our Grow Actively Refining Yourself that we have been going through for over 3 years now. Just really and truly, we're coming up on 4 years to really, really understand more of who we are so that we are more effective. We are filled with greater joy, and we exude these frequencies out for others. So this is that time of new beginnings. It really is. It's an overall time, if you follow the moon cycles, which is so beautiful here in Bali, because they celebrate each new day. Every single day is celebrated, and the cycles, there are cycles, different kinds of cycles right now, today being the new moon, which is a thought to be an energy of creativity, starting with the no color, the empty moon, the void. Well, we can look at the void as being empty, or we can look at it as being filled with possibilities, right? Filled with possibilities. The possibilities are endless. So as we are exploring what is really going on inside us, being loyal to ourselves, giving ourselves time for reflection, giving ourselves attention, understanding more of who we are, then we can understand where we would choose to move, what we would choose to build upon, and what we will allow to just fall away. So if we are doing the things that bring us joy, whatever those things are, it's going to raise your frequency. Remember, joy is one of the highest frequencies of all. It is way up here, and it's going to truly elevate everything in your reality. So as you're going through this week, just take a few moments each day to really go within. Write down that refinement list. I'm going to start a new 30-day challenge for myself today to go through till the next new moon. Now, will I miss a day here and there? It's possible. Is that reason to judge myself and say, Frances, you did it again, you failed? No, there is no failure, because every positive step that we take in our journey is going to mean that even if we have a misstep, we have learned along the way, and we are in a position for the next beginning to be at a higher level, a better, more productive, more interesting way for a gentle journey to proceed. So take a deep breath. Use your oils. If you are choosing to take our journey with us, I've already dropped one of my cards, so the release card, the freedom card is the one that I knocked off my desk. But it's all about step by step. People do ask me frequently, well, what are the rainbow healing cards? They're not fortune telling. They're just a guideline for focus, a step by step journey. And for these first 4 steps, I'll go over them again another time, more detail. I've been over them. There are videos everywhere. But the preparing yourself by getting rid of blocks, by creating your own energy flow, unveiling your authentic self, having compassion, nurturing yourself, and finding that perfect balance. It's all about that balance. Those are the core foundation that will bring you to a new level. And if that's where you choose to stop, that's not a problem. That's fine. Repetitively doing those 4 building steps can bring you to a level of greater joy. However, if you choose to take that 5th step, that breath of life, that breathing in the new life, the change, the allowing for change, that will shake things up. Now, whether you've chosen to do it or not, the last 1.5 years have been kind of like that on the planet. We've just all had to make a lot of adjustments, which is why some of the things that we have believed or grown up doing all of our lives may not be the best choice at this point, and we always have that choice. So then, whatever comes up for us, that acceptance. And the card that I knocked on the floor, the freedom, the release card, to let go of the old ways of doing things. So it's all just a building process, and having been the math teacher, I love the step-by-step procedure, and this has been very helpful for me, which is why I share it for all of you. And as you go through this next week, I challenge you to really, really pay attention to the beliefs that you perhaps have moved beyond, and the judgment of where others are, because that's kind of where what happens to us when we feel that someone is disloyal, or that idea of loyalty. Loyalty for me always meant that I held on. And sometimes holding on is not the best option. But I felt guilty if I did not hold on. So as you go through this week, examine your core beliefs. Sit down and really, really pay attention to what you're feeling. Not what you're thinking, what you're really feeling in your heart. And what you would choose to begin. What new beginnings are you going to choose to elevate your energy, to elevate your passion, to direct your passion for greater joy in your life, in everything that you do. So have a beautiful, beautiful week of self-discovery, and I'll see you next week.